What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham. We have a good amount of stuff to go through. This is the duet episode for Hollywood Week. This is the Idol breakdown. Let's go.
But I hope you feel no pressure. I know that I just met you.
You know, some contestants for duet rounds just click from the get-go and just crush. Their styles work, their personalities work. This is the case with Lucy and Elijah.
I guess you say what can make me feel this way.
They start off and Lucy does the bass and then Elijah is doing the high falsetto, which is really cool. Lucy was impressive. This was my favorite performance of hers. And Elijah, he's on a different level than anyone else when it comes to runs. He's like of the top 1% of the top 1% of singers in that regard. And it's not just his ability to hit a bunch of notes really fast and precisely. It's the choices that he makes. So instead of something like, hey, he would do like, hey. His point A to point B, the journey between it is so creative and so, it's a high level of difficulty that he executes perfectly. Nutsa and Karina.
You know I love you, I love you, I love you anyhow.
This was an interesting one. I am not the type that subscribes to the idea that in a duet, your duet partner can ruin things for you. Now, that belief, that principle was sure tested in this episode, but not here. You have the opportunity to sing, no matter what. You're still gonna get to sing, and it's your responsibility to make sure that they have a good understanding of you apart from this. You've had 2 other times where you've sung where you need to impress them, and so something bad could happen and they go, okay, well, you still sounded great. This is an isolated incident, if there is an incident. We're gonna keep you. So you still have control and you can still take responsibility for how you're doing. It seemed to me that Karina was putting off the vibe that, look at this terrible thing that Nutsa is doing to me. She's ruining my dream. I didn't make it because of Nutsa. She didn't say any of that, but she pretty much said it with her eyes and her attitude. God bless Nutsa. Just anytime Karina was like, yeah, I guess some people just aren't supposed to sing together, Nutsa was like, oh, and just hugged her. It's like, no, Nutsa, no. She's low-key saying that she feels like you ruined everything. And then they've got Olivia Rodrigo playing in the background, singing Traitor. Like, you betrayed me and you're not sorry. It's like, all right, let's just pump the brakes here. I think Nutsa was doing the best she could. She said, I swear I wanted this to work out, and I totally believe her. A couple things. It seemed like a Nutsa arrangement that Nutsa really wanted Karina to do, and I don't know how it was discussed or how it was decided, but apparently that's what they went with, and when it didn't work, Karina made sure that we knew that she wasn't a fan of what was happening. The other thing is, people have to understand, contestants have to understand when they're doing this duet round, it is a piano accompaniment, and that's it. So when they have these big, high production kind of arrangements, it often doesn't work just because there's only a keyboard piano and somebody reading sheet music that is typically not specific to you or your style. They're just they gotta play for like 50 people. Nutsa didn't do great, but she was special. She showed that special thing that she has, and they let her through because of it, and Karina did not make it. Matt and Elise.
'Cause I need you to
is a smooth criminal. He is such a velvety singer. And Luke kind of mentioned that too. I'm a big fan of Elise too. She's one of the best singers that we have, says Katie, and me too. I think this actually could have been a lot better. I was expecting better. It was a little loose in areas. The judges and everybody there in the room seemed to die over it and really love it. It's totally possible that it was just one of those performances that killed in the room, and you had to be there and didn't translate as much into the television. The best way to watch this video is as a premiere. It's like a TV show. And then I'm in the chat. Oliver Steele's been in the chat a bunch. Ashley Tankard's been in the chat. When you watch this on YouTube as a premiere, it's just more fun. Plus, right when the premiere's over, I start a live, wide open Q&A for anybody who wants to ask questions about what I just talked about, anything in this video, or what's about to happen. Warren and Hannah.
It's a beautiful thing. Don't think I can keep it all in.
Connection specialists. These two are doing master classes, or teaching master classes as they sing, on how music should sound emotionally. I've always said that singing connected to the song emotionally is what music is supposed to do. When you're singing connected to, I want to impress people, that's the counterfeit of the good stuff. Warren and Hannah know the good stuff and show us exactly what that looks like and sounds like and feels like. They're also connected to each other, I feel, in this moment. And then the arrangement was great because they killed it, and then they both had moments at the end that they kind of took their shot. So like, okay, now it's my turn to rip. Okay, now it's your turn to rip. And they both executed that really well. Hannah afterwards said something to the effect of, I felt like we did exactly what we wanted to do. Knocked it out of the park. Zachariah and Isaac.
I'm still standing. Yeah. Come on. I'm still standing. Yeah.
Man, it looked like someone just killed Zachariah's dog when he walked on stage with his phone, and I bet they were terrified just to receive the wrath of having their phone to get the lyrics. Best advice I can give for any singer that is going into the duet round of American Idol. Number one, pick the easiest song with the least amount of lyrics that you have to learn. Period. It's pretty much all you need to know. Because how your brain works, you have a certain amount of, I'm about to get nerdy, you have a certain amount of working memory slots, different things that you can actually be actively thinking of at the same time. Women have more than men. Men usually have about half a dozen slots. Now, when you add nerves, lack of sleep to the equation, you have even fewer slots than 6. So then when lyrics are trying to catch one of those working memory slots, and choreography, and oh my gosh, the judge is looking at me, and where's the camera, and do I sing now or later, and is this going to be on television? You don't have the lyrics. You don't have them. I sang a song when I was on the show that I knew wholeheartedly since I was a little kid. I was singing this song. Didn't sing my lyrics correctly. Just didn't. So for them to pick a song like this, I know the feeling, and it's awful. It's horrific. Made my skin crawl. But then something happened that I've never seen happen before. They pulled it off, and it worked. The judges coached him up, got him to sing. Isaac was ready to just go for it and see what happens. Zachariah, Katie was like, do you want to just trust in yourself? And I saw Zachariah's eyes say, no, I don't. I don't want to. I don't trust myself. We just talked. I was very clear that I did not trust myself to memorize the lyrics. But they pushed him, and it, again, I can't believe it, but it worked off. Zachariah, did some improv lyrics and scatting and just has a great voice, which really sure does help. and shows it here too. His chorus sounded like $1,000,000. Isaac was moving and grooving. I agree with Lionel that his body was outperforming his voice. I don't know if I completely agree with Isaac going through. I do agree with Zachariah going through because he's just one of the best male vocals of the season. Tyson and Kailyn.
Tonight,
Sing.
I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive, and the world is turning inside out.
Sing.
I'm floating around in ecstasy. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me now.
Golly. Woo! Tyson's a dog, bro. Tyson's for real. I wondered. I was like, I wonder, because someone can give a great audition and then a lot of times they don't live up to their audition. This dude's a killer. This was not a mistake that he sang that well in his audition. He's consistent and feeling it and into it and a nice guy. I thought their intro was the best part. When they were nearing the end of their intro, I remember thinking, there's no way that the pickup to this song, when they come back, the rest of the song is going to be as good as the intro. There's no way. And I was right. They missed some words. Kailyn missed some notes. It wasn't the greatest, but it didn't matter because the energy was great. They killed it earlier, and they were still killing it. Another duet that just clicked immediately. John Wayne and Preston.
String your prayers up and your roof's down deep, and a little lace on your family tree.
They seemed unsure of themselves when they started singing, but they were both fine. I think he could have cut them both. I certainly knew they had to cut at least one of them because they're the same contestant. Same age, same attitude, same personality, same size, same similar voices, they were the same person, it seemed like. So, and there's so many country people in this season. There's no way they're both making it through. I get a lot of the things that I miss during the show from my watch party that's members only. It's a live stream of me watching American Idol. I mute during the show and then I unmute during commercials and then we actually talk and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. If you're interested, you can join by hitting the join button at the bottom right hand of this video. We got a bunch of new members, actually. We've got Jan Beckstrand, Anika Berger, Arlie Ruskin, Hyder Vital, Kyle K, Jules Scarborough, Eddie Batista, John King, Dan Hall, Reginald Malernick, Whitney Bruscato, Linton Mann III, Trandon Cole, Priscilla Prim, I'm Not That Girl, I don't know who she is, but she's not that girl, Austin Marone, Oliver Steele, sound familiar, Obi-Wan Kavobi, Erica Isaacs, Caitlin Burke. Erica actually joined a couple weeks ago. And then Hippopotamus Bosch. Welcome to the Groove Crew. Oliver and Ian.
I'll make you cry when I run away. Ooh.
Okay, therapy, Oliver. This was a nice moment. We said, hey, you're really great. And hey, look at me. And he said, you gotta believe you're capable of this. That was great. Because it's one thing to just say, hey man, come on, you're awesome. Stop. Hey, chin up, buddy. You're great. It's another to be like, yo, look at me. You've got to understand and you've got to believe that you're capable of doing this. You have to. And when that happened, Oliver's back was to the camera. And in Hollywood Week, they are sneaky with their camera work. I bet he had no idea he had a camera on him when he was doing that. Especially if his back was to the camera. A lot of times they'll just sneak a boom mic out and over. You can't even see it. And they're getting all this footage and you think you're just talking by yourself, but they're getting it all. I think that was one of those moments, which makes it even cooler. They get to play and there is an issue with EM's guitar. And man, I feel this one. The guitar, that one, this acoustic guitar right there behind me, my dad bought me that guitar. Now my dad's still alive, but I've thought already, I mean, I know that when he's gone, I'm still gonna have that guitar. And thinking about how meaningful that instrument is to me, and thinking about how EM lost his dad so recently, and then promising that he was gonna use that to honor him, I really felt that. That seemed impossible to get over. I'm sure it felt that way for him. What I would have thought is, you know, and obviously he didn't use his dad's guitar. He used the Idol's standby guitar, which was out of tune, by the way. You know, in that moment, if EM's dad was there, he would have been like, use their guitar. Use their super nice guitar that works. Please don't feel like you have to use the guitar I got you that isn't working right now. Please, son, this is a big deal. It's American Idol. Use the nice guitar. So maybe he thought of that. I don't know. But that's what I would have reminded him. Like, hey, you got to understand. This is what your dad would want, is for you to play the good guitar. And like Luke said, they're going to fix that guitar up just fine. As far as the performance goes, just a beautiful, perfect arrangement. It was so good. The arrangement was so good, paired with how great their voices sound just singing, not even doing anything fancy, that they didn't have to do anything. They just sang the melody that was just laid there in front of them to sing, and the arrangement did the rest. And they both had their shots, kind of like Hannah and Warren did, had their scheduled, if you will, vocal moments later in the song, and they executed it really well. They both went through. No surprise there. Now, EM had his lyrics on his guitar. Okay, so it's funny and cute and never change when EM is looking at his lyrics on his guitar, but it's not okay when Zachariah and Isaac have it on their phones. I actually get this. I actually understand. I'm sure Zachariah and Isaac are saying like, yo, what the heck? It's cool when he does it, but not when we do it. But after that moment of him opening up about his guitar and his dad, and then them starting, they can't see that their lyrics are there until he's using them in the middle or near the end of the song. And with everything that had happened, and he was struggling, and then he sang great, and then looked down. It was kind of cute how he did it. It's just the reality of the situation. It was just more acceptable. Maybe not fair, but I don't know what to tell you. Life works like that sometimes. Aiden, Jaina, and Summer.
I'm still standing after all this time.
Man, my heart. Aiden was really struggling to find a partner, and with his autism and with the disability that he has, that just feels like the absolute worst place to be in. Everyone's running around trying to find people, and it's hard for anybody. Finally, they say, does anyone not have a partner? And he's the only person without a partner. And my heart was just like dying inside. And just watching him go through that. And you know what? I do want to commend Idol for showing what it really was like for him to experience that turmoil. To shed light on this subject and his disability. And he mentioned that himself. It is important that people saw what he had to go through, that misery. But then right at the end, they said, anybody else? And they're like, okay, we have an odd number. We need someone to do a trio. And Jaina and Summer immediately wanted him in, which is really sweet. As far as the song goes, I thought Jaina was a little weak at the start. I know she's a great singer. I didn't get that in the beginning. Summer started singing, and it was really strong. It was kind of an uplift when she started to sing. We all just kind of perked up to listen. Aiden, I'm looking forward to Aiden doing solo things because he, like I said before, he doesn't have the typical horsepower that most American Idol standouts have. But he has a different thing. It's the piano, musical genius, introspective, new perspective, new angle on music thing. And we're not gonna get that in a duet round where they're rushed to make an arrangement work. They did, I think, the best they could with what they had. And yeah, looking forward to seeing more in the future. PJ and Way.
Ladies, but your man wanna get buck wild. Just go ahead and hit it up style. Put your hands in the cash and spend it till the last time for all the hard times. Oh.
I just wasn't into it. I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype. It may be me still. The scouting was nice. That was cool. I'm a big fan of PJ. I freaked out in this audition. And I just was confused by the song choice. It felt theatery. And I don't know. I almost wonder if the judges were blowing smoke. Because it just did not seem like they were as good as the judges were saying they were. I just didn't get this one at all, to be honest. Cam and Jay. Alright. So, Cam could pick anybody, and he picked Jay. Felt like Jay connected with the music and related from his upbringing in foster care, and Jay had some trouble, I think, with homelessness and just poverty in general, and Cam was like, Jay. Then Jay decides this is too much and leaves. Well, Cam just works on as a solo. Well, then the next morning, Jay comes in and says, you know what, I've just learned that all that matters is the music, and I'm learning that more and more. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so now you didn't work or anything. You just felt overwhelmed, went home and went to sleep, said I'm out, and then said, you know what, I'll come back. It's just about the music, right? And then is smiling and playing this leader type on stage of, come on, Cam, it's okay, let's go. And no, you can't do that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. You can't just come back like that. Cam starts off with in my opinion, a very, very, very sloppy run. Big, giant attempt. However, the more they sang, I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually convinced that Cam is not just a one-hit wonder in his audition like I thought he might be. He shows some impressive pipes, and I'm actually looking forward to Cam more. I think he's really special. I definitely have more respect for him after this. Katie said, Jay, you're a leader. I wanted to vomit. There's a special little poke, a trigger, I guess, for me, when people just screw over their partner that they're working with that has all of this going on. And I'm not talking about like the Karina Nutsa thing where Nutsa was trying her best, but just maybe was headstrong in the arrangement. It didn't work out for Karina and she made a mistake. I'm talking about bailing, quitting on your partner who put his neck out on the line to choose you. I'm not into it. If it's too much for you, you got to make that decision and figure that out before you get there. Now, if you get there and it's too much, then leave. But to leave and then come back and then to play this altruist, moral character, music is all that matters. Not buying it, not into it. Kaya and Fire / Jaina.
Here I am.
Come on, girl.
What do you want from me?
So they seem like they're great. They seem like they fit and love each other and everything's going great. They sing a little bit in the behind the scenes footage and I'm like, maybe I've been missing Fire. Maybe I've been missing because she sounds really good and like a natural, genuine singer. And then Kaya they're in love with each other just as duet partners and they're getting along. And then Kaya starts to feel sick. She starts forgetting the words and she bails. She says, I'm out. I'm not going to sing. I don't know if they had a plan for Fire. If she was like, okay, I'm not going to sing, so you just do it as a solo or what? But Kaya was just like, yeah, I'm not going to sing. And my heart goes out to her still because you could tell that it was emotionally taxing for her and she felt bad about it, but she felt like she had no choice. And I feel like there's something deeper than I feel sick. Maybe there's some serious fear of doing poorly. When she said, well, if I can't give 100%, then I don't feel like I need to do it. That statement can be true sometimes, not with singing. If you could talk, you can sing. Now, maybe not to your full potential. You might not have a full octave on top of your range that you're used to having. That might be gone. You might be hoarse. You might not be able to do the things you usually do, but you can still sing. Unfortunately, I've had plenty of experience singing sick with a really bad voice. You can do it, especially in this scenario where it's kind of a big deal and people are relying on you. So I don't know what was going on there, but she bails. And then Katie says, who wants to sing? Who wants to sing with Fire? Jaina comes up, same person who said, we'll take Aiden. Jaina's like, let's go. I'll jump up there and just sing random harmonies and be a hype girl. And then Katie says, Katie looks at Fire and says, you're not going to be abandoned anymore. Oh man, I was not prepared. Was not prepared for that. Just hit me like a ton of bricks. Therapy Katie, man, she'll get you. I think this is the best Fire sounded. Actually was really into her singing here. And I know she got off mic when she started to cry and it was emotional. But you know what? I'm kind of under the impression that as she went through here, it's not because of her story so much. It's not a charity thing. I think she's a legitimate singer and I think she showed it and has something. Now, there are a lot of aspects to being an artist. They're not just looking for the best singer. The best singers are background singers. They're not successful, big artists. Some are, but my point is talent is, unfortunately, a small part of the equation of what makes an artist successful. There's so many other things that go into it. And Fire has a lot of those things going for her, including a good voice that she's starting to show. I remember hearing her at first in the Nashville audition and thinking, I guess not. No, it's more of the same. And then I remember hearing her yesterday in that first round of Hollywood Week and thinking, oh. And then thinking, maybe it's more of the same. This time I heard her again and I'm like, okay, maybe there is some improvement here. Maybe I've been missing it and she's a legitimate singer. I'm fine with saying and standing behind the statement that this is there's no longer a thought of she's just in because of her story. She's just in because of her personality or this or that. I think she's a good singer and she's in because she's a good singer. Okay, here's my new top 10. As of the duets, we've got some movement. This is my top 10. Again, this is my top 10 favorite singers, as if the show was just about me, but it's not. But here are my top 10 anyway. Okay, thanks. We've got, I think the last week of Hollywood Week is in the next 2 episodes next week. So, I'll see you then.